Welcome, guys. The first podcast of 2024.
Yes.
Team podcast,
Exciting
anyway.
stuff.
We've had a few launch already, I think. But yeah, backed by popular demand, us three together. And then the other one, backed by popular
I'm
demand,
not so sure, but anyway.
is our predictions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So this podcast is called 2024 Builder Marketing Predictions.
And the interesting thing is that each person here
Brought
has
their
brought their own predictions, and
We don't know.
I don't know what Corne's got. I don't know what JP's got,
Yeah.
but I've got an idea. I think.
Imagine we just overlap all three.
Yeah.
So we all have
That'd be
three. We'll get JP to kick it off.
Oh yeah.
What's your first prediction for
He's hiding here, so he can't
for
see
builders?
it.
I don't want you guys to see my predictions. Well, my predictions are based more on what I saw, talking to a lot of builders last year, saw working. Definitely towards the end of the year, I spoke to a lot of builders as they were implementing things throughout the year, and then saw some amazing fruit, let's say, in the back half of last year, in the back quarter of last year. And my first prediction that I think more builders will be getting on board with, those that are cluey, absorbing the right material, reading and following the right leaders in the industry, would be more holistic marketing and not relying and leaning on just one style, one mode of marketing or
one channel?
one channel.
Okay, so what's your prediction in one sentence?
More holistic marketing.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so why is that important?
Because if you're, well, I mean, we're big on getting out of obscurity, and you want to be omnipresent. And if you are relying on just one channel, then you're only appearing to that in that channel and to that audience that are there at that time, which is very, very slim when you look at the big picture. But if you have a more holistic style or more holistic strategy, then you're going to be appearing in front of more people, more consistently, more often. And there'll be some other things that will come into that with my other predictions.
Cool.
But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think we can do a whole podcast on holistic marketing. And we just wrote a new book, audio book, that we have pre-launched it. So a few of our builders, you might be listening to this, you might have a copy already where we do go over that whole holistic approach.
If not, reach out.
If not, reach out. We will be launching it pretty soon.
So you're saying holistic, just quickly, without jumping into it. What are those specific things? Because
What are a few things?
A few things, because some people might be sitting here going, "What marketing?
What does holistic even mean?
It's just one thing."
Yes.
Just do
Well,
marketing.
maybe start with holistic because, yeah, it's massive. Holistic would be looking at marketing and going, well, I need to make sure everything or as much as possible is covered. And that, I think, covers a few things. So I'll just jump ahead. Number 3 for me was branding.
Right.
So branding plays part in that holistic, because if you just go out there and say, cool, I'm going to be doing paid traffic advertising, I'm going to be doing site signage, nurturing systems, all that sort of stuff, and you got a bad brand, it's not resonating, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
So that holistic, I would say, encompasses that, but also want to add it on its own.
Yeah.
But holistic would be, going through, like I said, the paid traffic. Well, we say nurturing, but that's has its own depths to it. But that's around when you get someone who shows interest, what are you then doing with that person?
Yeah.
You need to have a whole system that then can
So
back that up.
I think we'll go deeper on a different podcast on the holistic thing. I think people kind of understand that, but I think a lot of our predictions today will fall into that holistic thing. So
Yeah.
no, I like that. Thanks, James.
Love it.
Andre,
Thanks, Jabs.
what's your prediction?
A big thing that I sort of realized last year, and it's the same thing with Jabes. I mean, he's talking to different builders at different times. A big thing for me was like seeing the difference in builders that connect with other builders, where 2 versus 1. So 2 is always stronger than 1, kind of thing. So a big thing is that builders have always had this thing in their mind, like, I don't want to like talk to other builders, or I'm scared to because they're going to steal work from me or steal my ideas. But what we're finding is the builders that are connecting with other builders, whether it's just catching up with another builder in your local area, whether it's events or like a mastermind, and they become as like a community, the fruit they then carry from that, the relationships they build through that is insane.
Okay, so what's your
That's a good
prediction?
one.
So my prediction is that those builders that are really going to put that as like one of their core things this year, to get in a community or to just catch up with a builder on a regular basis that they get along with, they're going to have a lot more growth in their business through different facets through their business.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I really love that one because that's actually one of my predictions.
I knew it was going to be.
Do you want me to say mine?
Yeah,
All
so
right,
maybe
so-
add on what I...
So this was my third one, but I'll jump to this
Yeah.
one now. So it is part of a community of like-minded builders.
Yeah.
I can't remember who said the quote, but they said, who you hang around with can like basically make or break your business. So choose wisely.
Yeah, the
And
five
that's like-
closest people.
Five closest people. I mean, I don't think it's any secret. If you look at the 5 people you hang around with most of the time, you'll probably be more like them. Your income levels, the business that you're running,
What you talk about, everything.
like
The way you
fitness-wise,
think. Yep.
everything. So my prediction is part of more builders being part of a community of like-minded builders. The reason why, running a business of any kind, like not even just a building business, can be super lonely, right? You might have a team, you've got clients, but it's a lonely kind of space.
It's a lonely race.
And we're all too close to our own business. You know, when a problem comes up, we get very emotional about it. We think it's the end of the world. And we're just super like close to it. And that's why you need people that might have been through some of those problems already, or that have tested different opportunities, and some worked, some didn't work. I mean, we've been a part of communities in our business over the last few years, and it's been invaluable.
It's been insane. Like, I wish we did this day one.
Yeah, because we started this video back in 2011.
Yeah.
We only got into like a really solid mastermind where we paid like 55 grand for a year. It was the most valuable thing I think that we've ever done.
Yeah.
So I think that's massive. I think how builders can do this, we obviously run a mastermind called Synthesis. It's full at the moment. The guys in there, they catch up every single week. They are like-minded. They get a lot of value out of it, and a lot of opportunities that come out of it. So I think it's just really important for builders to be in a group like that.
That's right. And there's groups out there, so I definitely feel like get yourself in one of those.
I think even if you just looked at those guys in that group, just because that's probably the most accurate case study that we can give.
True.
Because we're catching up with these people so regularly. You look at their success, and even maybe one of those guys that has had a harder year, if you talk to him, and we have, and he has said in that group as well that group has been a lifeline to him to get through this year and build on it and use it as just part of as a foundational block.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been amazing to watch that.
Because to add on to that, I think it's having people that's in your circle that will challenge you sometimes. Because your thinking might be in a certain way. You're like, this is your thinking. And they go, wait, man, like, have you thought about it this way?
Yeah.
Like, really, man, it's not exactly the way you're seeing it. It's not to be mean, but it's like to try and just, it's like, that makes sense.
Well,
But
just
how
that
important
why.
is it? Like, I think when this prediction came up, I think when Andre, you just said it, and then when I said that quote, I butchered the quote. It's not exactly how you say it, but you got to choose wisely. Like, who is in that group?
Yeah.
It doesn't just mean get any random person, because that can be like poisonous as well. You could have a poisonous group, and that is the worst thing.
Yeah,
just complaining the whole time.
Like Andre was saying, just find someone in your local area. Yeah, don't just go and find the next, let's say if you're going to hang out with another builder, don't just go find the next person you cross paths with.
Yeah.
Do your research on him. Make sure that ideally, you want people that are maybe even a bit ahead of you, bigger 100%. Than you, more closer 100%. To where you want to be.
Especially in some areas, because even in the mastermind, like in Synthesis that we run, I mean, there's a couple of guys that have been in business longer than others, but some of the guys that have been in business like not as long, they have strengths in other areas. So
definitely,
each person needs a particular strength, and that like really helps the others that have maybe have a weakness in that area.
Yeah.
So it's not just a level of like builders that have been in the industry for a while or whatever, and automatically the one that's been the longest or the one that's got the biggest business is, because then they might feel like they're not getting much value from it either.
Yeah.
But I know even some of the guys that have been in business longer, they might get like other things like fitness and mental mindset.
Definitely. Definitely.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, we can go deep.
Well,
into
let's
this one,
keep
but-
let's keep going.
So who should go next? Because I just did mine. It's JP again.
You go back through me.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely saw, mine I think are all sort of interwoven, much like the business, everything touches everything else, there's nodes, but proactive marketing. I think just because of the amount of builders we talk to, I'm always talking to guys who want to better themselves, better their business, and get more ideal clients more consistently. And so a lot of the questioning I do with them is, what are you currently doing? What's working, what's not working? And one thing that is very consistent there is they're not proactive. They've put some things in place a while back, and they just thought that it was just a matter of time, and the gates would open and things would come.
Yeah.
So it was very much a static, sitting back sort of approach. Or unfortunately, a lot of guys out there, they think just doing great work is going to get them the next bigger, better job or more work consistently, and but that's not. And they can convince themselves that's proactive. Like, I'm being proactive and I'm doing this amazing service and job on a project, but it stops there. You're not controlling the proactiveness of your client to go and proactively share that.
Okay.
So that'd be definitely one that I saw. I think it's not new, but if you want to get ahead this year, if you want to be where you want to be, you're gonna have to be more proactive with your marketing.
Exactly.
And you don't have to do it all. You can work with a team like us, but you can't just sit back.
I agree. Like, I think too many people think of marketing as a box to tick, but it's literally the fuel for your business. It's crazy. Like, even us, sometimes we get complacent. Like, business gets busy. Like, we've got to solve problems and we've got to help a lot of different clients, and then marketing kind of like takes a backseat. I mean, we're still like way far ahead. I mean, we're doing a podcast every week, and all our ads running, and we've got a lot happening all the time, but still, just it kind of goes to the back of your mind a bit. And every now and then I've got to like shake myself and go, hey, this is like the thing that feeds us. Right?
I think maybe something to add to that definition is proactive. The way I would see it is, what are you doing to take your business out there? What are you doing to take it out to the people, to the audience, and not just
waiting for them to
because I think everyone always like, there was this time, especially when blogging was a thing, it's called like inbound marketing, like everyone was preaching this thing like, you create content and then wait for the people to kind of come in, and it is relevant to some degree, but you need things in place like what you said there. You got to be proactive, and
and there's more builders constantly entering the market. So I mean, if you're waiting for people to come to you, that is going to become, that slither that you might catch, just let's say organically, is going to become less and less and less as more builders enter the market. And I think, like you said, the box ticking, that's a classic one. Guys who, they get I'm talking about branding. They get a new brand, new website, and they tick the box, and then they think, okay, we're good. Now we can just go and build, and it'll just happen.
Yeah. Cool. Should I go into mine? Because I think it kind of like leads to the proactive one, the next one. So I think, the next one is a big prediction is a lot of builders will clearly define their sales process. This podcast is called Builder and Marketing. We haven't even spoken too much about marketing except for you, JP, but we've spoken about community. But next one, like sales process. And I think, the reason why this one is so important is builders need some sort of framework for their sales process, and a framework to take people that have showed interest in their business and lead them and guide them through that whole journey, and not let them guide the builder.
And that's a little bit of marketing too, eh?
100%. And it leads into it, because I think a big reason why this is important is, at the end of the day, you want the project to go ahead, right? That's why you're in business. That is your kind of like your product. So if you want the project to go ahead, if it's a good fit, and to do this, you also want to like build a lot of trust. So I think having this framework in place will build a lot of trust. And I've got a few tips here. So like how you can actually go about this is you can sit down as a builder and go, on the left-hand side of the piece of paper, write down inquiry. And then on the right side, write down like contract signed. And then what you want to do is you just want to put a few dots in between, and it's almost like mapping out the journey that they've got to go through, the prospect that have to go through, okay, and what they need to know and what they need to learn so that they completely trust you, so that when it comes time to signing the contract, all those things have been taken care of. And some of the things you need to be considering is, what are some of the false beliefs that they are thinking about? You know, what are some of the false beliefs that their family and friends are talking to their head while they're in this process? Oh, you shouldn't build, like you should just buy a house that's already done, or whatever, right? Yeah. So you want to do that. And then what you want to also do is, in those dots, is add some educational based sales/marketing assets to further build that trust and also use as leverage. So what you do is you create it once and give them those assets. It might be PDFs, it might be long form podcasts, like video content, audio content, so that you can basically talk it out once, and then you can use that time and time again. So I think that's going to be a big prediction this year, is builders is going to focus a lot on that. When someone inquires, they're going to be super proactive, going back to your proactive one, on getting back to the inquiry professionally, quick, timely, with a lot of educational based assets.
And defining that was that next step.
100%. Yeah. And then also being able to keep track of all those people. Because you're doing marketing, that pipeline will grow and you will get more people into it, and you've got to keep track of where those people are at. So you need a solid, like some sort of sales CRM as well. But that's my prediction there.
So you kind of hit my prediction there, but the way you articulated it was obviously different. But a big, it's a lot better. A big prediction for this year, is people, those builders that really dive into their sales process and really make it better, will really succeed. If you're putting good marketing in place and you don't have good sales process, like you've said, a framework in place, then really you're going to lose a lot on what you potentially could be having.
Yeah. And I think, like, can I just like put a disclaimer in here? So this whole like sales framework pipeline, don't use this as an excuse to not market your business. You go, I'm going to market my business when I've got that in place. Mate, you can go pause this video right now, take 5 minutes, just map out what that journey looks like, and that's your first edition.
Yep.
If people don't know about your business, there's no business.
And one thing I just want to say, so what I'm gonna kindly veer mine off a little bit from like the sales process. And when I'm talking about the sales process, one of the unique things within that process is the builders that really get this one specific thing right will do a lot better. And that is, if they, when they catch up with a client for the first time, is to really understand what the client's problems are, and then really using those problems to then come with a solution.
Yes, be the guide.
Be the guide. So you're guiding them and really understand what's the things that's happening to them. And it's not just that they want to build a house with bricks and a tin roof and or whatever. It's really understanding like what's that end goal for them. So those builders, and the reason why I'm bringing that up, because I'm going through that journey at the moment. We're doing small renovations at our place, and the builder that we've been working with he's been doing that really well. He's really been there to understand what's our real problem. It's not just to do a renovation, say in the bathroom. It's to really understand like the why behind it, and then to come with the solution of, cool, we can do this. So I guess to kind of summarize it is to really get super clear on what the problem is your client is facing, the solution that they're looking for.
Yeah, and one way you could do that is like asking why, like the 5 whys. So just drilling deep and getting the root why. So if someone says to you, I want a, what's the kitchen bench that you guys wanted?
Marble.
Marble, yeah, like why? And then digging deep And
Exactly. So we were sold on marble, but then it's like, no, wait, the solution's actually something else. And now, because him as a builder really understood us, he can really bring the right solution. And that's kind of like where I just want to leave that with the specific sales section, is that sometimes you really got to understand your client before you can offer them a solution. And that's one big thing that I know, JP, you're always about that, like really understanding the why behind our clients. And then before you even bring anything to the table, because if they're not the right fit, if we can't help them for whatever reason, then we'd rather point them in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, to go sidetrack, I had a good meeting with someone yesterday, and we spoke for 45 minutes plus, and I didn't present anything. It was just understanding his purpose and his why, and he wanted to make sure that I understood that, and I think it'd be a great fit. So we'll talk again actually today. But going back to the sales process, funny enough, I didn't really have that here on mine.
Wow.
Yeah, that's I'm surprised about. But when I think about it, and I was talking earlier at the very start of this podcast about those builders who we saw getting some great fruits from all the things that they've been putting in place. Funny enough, when I was going through all of those that came to mind, they've all got really good sales process in place. And like you said, there's no point working on a sales process if you don't have marketing in place, because if you don't have anyone coming in, you got, what's the point of having the internals there? So one thing I also wanted to add to that though is emphasizing, it doesn't need to be super slick.
Yeah.
We've got builders that have sales process that I think every page has been beautifully graphically designed, and we've got builders that they've just got some templates saved, text templates saved on their phone in their notes. Like there's a huge spectrum, but just having it mapped out, which you said was the good start point.
100%.
Is
and
so
you iterate
important.
the whole time, right? So as you start talking to the people that come through your kind of like your sales pipeline, you go, oh, that thing I said there, it was silly, it didn't work, so let me adjust that. Whereas the people that want to perfect it from the get-go, you're not
never
going to
gets
get started.
implemented. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also when you've got a system in place, and even if it's just rudimentary, it just builds that consistency. It's the same thing you put in place every time, which I think a lot of guys, once they do that, even to the smallest degree, will be amazed at how much that cognitively offloads them, rather than every prospect coming through the door is ad hoc and going, oh, what do I have to do now? How do I manage this? Yeah.
And if you're a client listening to this, we have actually recently created a resource with templates, how to get back to, people at particular stages and so on. So, and you created that resource and how to follow up effectively with value. So just reach out to JP and he'll provide you with that resource. I think that's a valuable resource.
Definitely. And we've got some exciting podcasts coming up very
true.
soon, talking to more.
Don't
get away.
Don't
Okay.
get away. So the last one is kind of in line with mine with sales process and having a framework. But I think builders will invest more in long form content, like podcasts, like video podcasts.
Why?
Why? I guess the big thing is it builds a lot of trust. And again, like I said before, you use it as leverage. Sometimes you've got to say the same thing over and over and over again. When you first catch up with a prospective client, it feels like you have to go through the same speech to educate them. Whereas like if you had that long form content and you put it into your sales process and give your prospective client those assets to listen to, it'll cut down a lot of time in you actually building trust and things that you don't have to repeat every time. You can do it in the form of technology with video or podcasts. And we've seen this time and time again with some of our clients, our builders that are on that next level. And, they've got these things in place, and the feedback we get is, man, like it's so easy. These people are ready to build with us straight away. We can get down to business. It's not all this stuff we've got to talk about.
Yeah, and the great thing is you can just do it once, and then it's all set up.
And people might think, well, that's like a video. It's not real. It's not me. But one thing I want to challenge people on is the fact that the human mind doesn't know. Like you guys listening or watching us right now, your mind, like subconsciously, you think we're like in a conversation. We're face to face. Until you think about it, like, oh no, actually I'm listening to this over my car speakers, or I'm watching this on my phone, or whatever. But mindset wise, And, you know, I've got a few examples of that. Like one is like, I used to watch this vlogger like Casey Neistat and every day, like ages ago. And it felt to me like this guy was my friend. And then I was always thinking about this. I'm like, because I used to go to New York quite a bit. And I'm like, if I go to New York and I, you know, bump into him, I'd be like, hey, Casey, man, how's it going? You know, you going well? And he'd be like, who the hell are you? You know, but in my mind, I'm like, that's normal.
Yeah. And that, I mean, funny you mention that story, because I've heard those stories from our clients themselves when they eventually have a client come to the door and say, we want to build with you. And then sometimes it might come up at that stage, but sometimes it only comes up once they've signed contract and they're off, and then that client then comes out and says, oh, actually, I saw you at this restaurant and I saw you here, and like, I didn't want to say hello, you know, and our client's like, why didn't you just come and say hi? Oh no, but you were so-and-so, you know. It definitely,
that's it. And getting back to like your question, why, Andre, like it's, you're the expert, you're the guide, the builder, that you're the person that the prospective clients and the clients are trusting to build their home. So you should be seen as that authority, and this is the way to build that authority. So yes, like mindset wise, something crazy happens with like video and podcast. And I know I'm harping on about this, but I think it's just so important and valuable. But one example is like Alex Hormozy said and I'm going to butcher this because I listened to this like 6 months ago. He said that at some stage he interviewed all his clients that paid him like 30, 50 grand.
A part of his sort of high level thing.
And 95% of them said they watched at least 3 pieces of long form content before they committed. And we're testament to that. So I've been through 2 buyer's agents, one to buy an investment property and another one to buy my personal place of residence, and also the mastermind we used to be a part of. All 3 of those decisions, massive high ticket value items where I had to pay money, and all of them I listened to and watched a lot of their long form content before I made that decision, because they built that ultimate trust with me.
Now, why didn't you just go straight to the say the buyer's agent and go, let's catch up?
Like, I get it. Some people are like that. I've got friends that are like one of the builder friends that we catch up all the time. Like I mentioned to him, he's like, mate, I just make decisions straight away. Like he went into like a car dealership and then just bought the car or whatever. Like he likes to make decisions that fast. I'm maybe a little bit more skeptical.
Yeah.
So you got to cater for all those people.
Everyone will be different, but I think when someone's building a home, it's one of the biggest investments of their life. And sometimes, like that's where the real opportunity sits with what you just shared there. It's like, man, it's not always an easy thing to take on, to think you're going to sit in a podcast and like talk to people or whatever. But that's where the opportunity lies, because if you can do that right now in this year or next year, man, that's going to put you miles ahead.
I think that long form podcast also, because it's there to educate. One thing that I want to say, almost every conversation I have with a new builder is they want to be dealing with more educated clients. If you looked at the niche that most of our clients fit into, they're not building for first homeowners. They're building for second, third, fourth, forever homes. And so they want clients who know a little bit about the space, have had a taste of it maybe, and so there's just a lot of education they want their client to have. But a lot of these builders are not doing that until they come work with us and we help them with that.
And I mean, we're testament to that as well. Like how many episodes have we done now? I can't remember. Just check the title of this one. But every time, builder comes to you and they've been listening and or watching our podcast, what is that like?
Oh, it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
They, especially when they can start quoting it. We've got a builder who's listened to it all and he's going back through it again. We had one of our builders that, he says one of our builders because I feel like he's part of our community already, but he's not on board with us yet. He sent us a whole box of cookies for Christmas just to say thanks to the podcast. It's made a huge impact on his business, non-client, but he's been consuming it and implementing the stuff that he's been learning. And he just different conversation. I don't need to do some of the surface level, questions to understand everything. It's like, no, I know what he's consumed based on how he's talking to me, based on what he's regurgitating. So we can dive into like that
you get
let's
down
say
to
third
business.
level. Oh, very quick.
You can go like to the valuable stuff and actually understand where we can actually help them and provide value.
Yeah.
And that's the same with builders. Like that, I think this is a big prediction. And we've got a few clients doing it now, so it's exciting.
Big time.
Yeah. Next prediction.
Yeah.
How many predictions do we have left?
Well, I've got
one more.
Yeah, I've got two more, but
Gee.
I wanted
Extra
to
value.
make extra value. Why?
Well, I'll jump in with my prediction.
Yeah.
So, there's words being thrown up, things like economy, builders going down or whatever, all these words and stuff. But a big thing is the builders that can really build confidence and trust are going to make a huge difference in where they're going to go as a business. Now, the builders
Before
that
we go to the how, why? Why is that important?
Well, the biggest thing is because it's such a unknown time and people are investing all this money. Obviously, there's going to be people in their family or in friends or in their circles that come and say, oh, but should you really be, spending $500,000 or $1 million or whatever on doing this, building your home or renovating or whatever.
You're talking like the circles of prospective clients.
So you really need to be the louder voice in their ear, building confidence that they go far out. This builder is going to have my back and provide a solution here to my problem of like the house is too small, it doesn't fit our family or our lifestyle. And so, and what I want to kind of add with that is like the how is basically like the builders that understand that you're not just marketing for future clients, but you're marketing for current clients and you're marketing for past clients. Because when someone goes on a journey with you and they're building, they've started, they signed contract, that doesn't just mean now you can just move on to the future clients. You've got to keep providing confidence and conviction that, man, we're like doing amazing things. And so how do you do that? Well, your marketing's got to be out there. You've got to show up, whether it's banners, whether it's car driving on the road with your branding, or whether it's online. You got to be coming forefront because every time they see you, it's another like little nudge of like, yep, we're here.
Yeah. And I'd even go so far to say like it's for your team as well.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And more importantly for yourself. Like I think a big reason why we market is because it, like for myself anyway, it builds confidence in myself. It's like, man, our business is out there. It's getting shown. Like I'm proud of it.
Momentum.
Yeah.
We're moving. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that prediction, Andre. I think that's huge. And yeah, just going through the bias agent recently for my principal place of residence, I was on their marketing like every single day because I'm excited. And like, you building a home for yourself and your family, that process, it's a long process and you got to stay excited. So if the builder keeps you excited and through the marketing and stuff, they see
That's
you're alive.
very,
you're
very
busy,
important.
Man,
Very
that's
important.
huge. A lot of builders, like I've noticed over the years, like the ones that play kind of like that victim mentality, I think we should have a podcast on victim mentality, and there's some great books to overcome that.
Yeah.
I think we all have a bit of victim mentality in us, but the ones that are like huge on that victim mentality, they think marketing is literally just to get inquiries. They don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
And there's so much lost opportunity if you don't
So
see the
much.
bigger picture.
Yeah.
The last two predictions, I've mentioned number 3, which is the branding. I think branding is really important. Every now and again, when I raise that, and even we have clients that they've got branding from like 10 years ago, and they work with us and they get great results, good momentum, and then they want to go, I want to go even more. Like I want to say start doing these types of projects. I want to make that shift, but then things like branding get left behind, and so I think that's just an important part when you look at some of the clients that have gotten some great fruits towards the end of last year that wanted to make that shift and jump from the type of clientele that they were attracting and working with, and they invested in branding. And it's not a whole new brand. I mean, they always wanted a new name and everything, but often it's just a touch up.
Like
it's just a refresh, and you might say, I don't want people to think that, we're changing, or it's like, I mean, look at Coca-Cola. Everyone knows Coca-Cola, but they still do a refresh every so often. And you might not even notice it so much, but if you looked at Coca-Cola's brand and their logo, that's over the last 10 years, it's changed several times.
Right. Okay.
So that's B1, but then the last one was niching. I think that's a foundational thing. Well, it's probably not a new trend this year, but if you do want to get ahead, niching, and that touches on understanding your clients and the problem that you're solving for them. And it's going to mean that your long form content, it's going to mean that when you are educating them, building trust, you're knowing who you're talking to. And so better understanding and knowing your niche is going to be powerful.
I agree, because then you can go deeper, right? You can really understand their problems and create that long form educational content, your short form stuff. Everything will touch on those their pain points and what's important to them. Love it, guys. It's at the end of the podcast.
Is that all? You guys have done 3?
It's really good.
Done 3. Till next year.
Till
Till next year's
Till
predictions.
2025.
Yeah. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share it with other builders. Get in a community, guys. Get in a community. Trust me, it's huge.
And if you want any of the resources that we've talked about or mentioned for clients, sales programs, just reach out.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Have an awesome year.
See you guys next week.